Normally I wouldn't approach ya without a formal introduction. Never been the type to move fast, but I'm feeling early eruption. Now tell me, are you down with that? Once you rock with me, ain't no coming back. I need a monkey, come hold me down. A real queen, now come wear this crown. Now we rockin' like, oh, holler out, flex up. Now we rockin' like, oh, I'll tell you what's next up. Now we rockin' like, oh, holler out, flex up. Now we rockin' like, oh, I'll tell you what's next up.
Yo, welcome to another episode of Subtle Flex Podcast. I'm excited. I've been talking to these guys again about wrestling, and we're gonna go into it. Right, this is the MYGM mode. Okay, I put stipulations and rules out there. I was telling them like, look, you get a prelim, you get the first match, 3 mid cards, and a main event. You must have a female match, a tag match, and a special match at least, the bare minimum. So for this pay-per-view, because Mario's already disqualified, because I can tell, this is your all-time in their prime wrestlers. Back to the 1980s, 70s, if you want to, but none of them are going to be on my list. Then all the way up to current, whatever. Just mismatch any brands, doesn't matter. It's just your all-time. And I'll tell you like this, I don't have Ric Flair. I don't have Hulk Hogan. I don't have John Cena. I don't have The Rock, Stone Cold. I don't have a lot of these people. Goldberg, Brock.
Real quick. No one gives a damn we got Hogan or not. Fuck that man.
I don't like Hogan either.
No Hogan.
I don't.
Hogan
You know what?
I don't know Hogan either.
He don't deserve to be on the list. The boy garbage.
Yeah, trash. The leg drop. But
Harbormania leg drop, brother.
all right, that's another discussion. Okay,
I'll be on the
so
brother.
so we're all gonna go. You know, we're gonna go Wright, Mario, Tim, and then me. All right, for each match of the pay-per-view. Okay, so we're talking about the prelim, the kickoff. I'm talking about throwback Sunday Night Heat that 1 hour before the pay-per-view started. I was talking to Wright about this. It's like, remember Sunday Night Heat when my auntie couldn't, she's like, sorry, I can't get you the pay-per-view. I would watch Sunday Night Heat just to see what the stage would look like that night.
Yep.
Because it was the exact same thing.
So, I'm in trouble.
My kickoff. Oh no, actually I was last. My bad. Go ahead, Wright. What's your kickoff?
All right, my kickoff for the all-time greats, I'm giving you guys a nice classic. I'm going The Brood versus The Nation for my kickoff show. I'm giving you guys a nice tag match at the beginning. This is for the kids at home like myself who mother or father or aunt or whoever grandmother wouldn't get the pay-per-view for them. You still get a good match right before you got to take your ass to bed to go to school next.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I can afford that Sunday Night Heat match right there.
Yeah.
What about you, Mario?
So I grew up a fan of the hardcore championship, that ugly ass championship that nobody liked to look at. So I grew up a fan of those, and I would want to put it in that old ECW stadium that we grew up with, and it would be a hardcore match. I'm talking like bats with the barbed wire on it type hardcore match. Hardcore Holly, Tommy Dreamer, John Moxley, and Mick Foley.
Ooh.
Which are you going, Mick Foley? Or you gonna go Cactus Jack? Or you gonna
No, I'm
which faces?
I'm going. My bad. I'm going Mankind. My bad.
Have a
I'm
nice
going
day.
Mankind.
Hey,
Mankind. All
you
day.
just want blood on your map before the pay-per-view even started.
Blood, nails, anything.
You gonna see blood before the first match.
Borderline on the deathbed.
Yeah, someone gotta die.
Yeah, facts. Have the ambulance on standby.
Yeah,
What do you got, Tim?
Right, so I misunderstood my kickoff. I just meant kickoff of the show. But you're still gonna get a hell of a match on your free pay-per-view. You're actually gonna lose some money on this. You're gonna be mad about this, but I kick off at a Fatal 4, and I went with women's to open up the show because I didn't want to main event it.
Yeah,
so I opened it with women's. I got a Fatal 4 between Charlotte, Bianca, Jade Cargill, and Trish Stratus. Just mix between little eras there and let them battle it out in a Fatal 4-way just to open up the show because I didn't want to put them as a mid-carders and I didn't want them in the main event.
All right, so we almost had the same thing. I didn't put Jade Cargill in there. I added Sasha Banks. So I had Banks, Lita.
Not in this yet.
Banks, Lita,
all time. You all time.
Trish,
My bad. You good.
Trish and Belair. Oh, don't worry, that one's coming. But yeah, I went fatal 4-way females match. If y'all watching, please don't think I'm a sexist, but I just couldn't find you on an all-time list to put you in the actual pay-per-view. Like, I'm sorry, there's a lot of people, because I'm telling you, it's what I wanted to see, right? Like, if I wanted to sit down and watch an all pay-per-view, like, and never take a piss, or you know, have someone do it for me, like, hey, go get me some food. Like, I'm not moving. Like, that's the way I went with this route. All right, I'm gonna go first match. Okay, the pay-per-view just started. Pyro's hitting. This is the very first match. This is the set your tone pay-per-view match. All right. So, Wright, where did you go with your very first match for the all-time pay-per-view?
My opener match is Shawn Michaels versus Seth freaking Rollins for the undisputed IC title. We're going to bring back the old white belt, and we're going to bring this ugly ass belt, and we're going to put them together, and we're just going to turn it to the white belt, the classic white. And I got Shawn Michaels going over Seth freaking Rollins. 1, 2, 3.
Just a regular match?
It's a regular straight up match. Oh, don't worry. I got a special. I got a specialty match for you. It's
All
coming.
right.
You don't like it. You don't like it.
Mario, what you get?
So I should have did what Shaw did with the opener match with the women's match, but I put a women's match in the kickoff last second because I don't want to be disqualified from the cards. So I got China versus Rhea Ripley in an I Quit match. Two of the most physically dominant women to ever wrestle.
Yes.
First one to quit.
I can do it.
Okay.
I'll start off the show with a little bit of TLC. We're going to have the Dudleys and the Hardys, because obviously those are classics. The New Age Outlaws, and then I threw the Usos in there. Because when it's all said and done, they're going to probably be one of the top tag teams to ever do it. So you get a little bit of everything within that match, different type of matchups you can see. And like you said, that hardcore stature, someone will get their ass whooped in this match. It's going to be great.
Wait, so who were the tag teams? Was it 3 tag teams you named?
It was 4. It was the Dudleys, the Hardys, the New Age Outlaws, and the Usos.
Okay. I like that lineup. I hate you, right? Because your match is not my first match; it's the next match.
That's my next match too.
So to kick off mine, it's a cage match, right? And it's 2 of my all-time favorites. Okay, rest in peace to Owen Hart. He's one, and I have him going against a prime Y2J in a cage match. I'm talking about, like, listen. So these technical wrestlers is gonna be a rhythm of where my matches go. Every match is technical, has a little special twist to it, but these are the type of wrestlers I like watching. So Y2J, Owen Hart, I know that's gonna be a 5-star. I threw in cage match just because, you know, I don't know if they're gonna do anything crazy, but I know that if I keep them in the ring, we're gonna see a lot of technical moves happening. So that's where I went with that. We're done with it. Everyone's liking this 5-star. Now we're going into our mid-carders. What is your mid-card match? Your first mid-card match?
My first mid-card match, he already got 2 of my people in it. So, I got Chyna and Jacqueline versus Bianca Belair. Yeah, we're going Chyna and Jacqueline versus Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley in a tag match. The two big powerhouses of their times, because granted, Jacqueline wasn't really known back then, but oh my goodness, she could go, and she was just a huge freaking nature. Her and Ivory together would just cause freaking havoc. So
is that a regular match too?
Yep, that's a regular match too.
I ain't buying your pay-per-view, bro.
Man, listen, you don't need too many. You don't need all that, man. You don't need all that.
I'm looking at your match. Yeah, I'm not watching this. Let me go. I'll catch the highlights on YouTube.
Their match, man. Listen, the last 3 you're gonna really like though. The last 3 is what you buy my pay-per-view for.
Okay. What about you, Mario?
So I went a TLC match as well. Two of the tag teams are me and him are the same, right? But the other 2 are different. So I got a TLC match. Dudley Boys, who was my favorite tag team growing up of all time, would be there. Hardy Boys. Everybody's, I think, loves the Hardy Boys.
Especially in a TLC.
I got the Street Profits in it. I love me some Street Profits, bro. Love those dudes are so underrated. And another underrated tag team that nobody ever really talks about anymore, Edge and Christian.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they're talked about, especially with those TLC matches.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Well, I don't
they
hear people
originated.
like when people talk about tag teams. I don't hear people talk about Edge and Christian that much no more.
They
Edge
have
has
to
so much
together. Yeah, the concerto, baby.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Concerto.
What is it? 5-second pose?
Yep.
Yep.
Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, so I went a little new school mixing with a little old school, and it's one of those matches I would really just love to see just because what can happen between there. But I got Eddie Guerrero and Ray tag teaming against a current tag team in AEW and the Lucha Brothers. I think that match would be nuts. I think it would be insane.
Everyone in South America, Central America, and Mexico right now, they bought your shit just for that match alone.
Hey, that
Lucha,
match would be
Lucha.
bro.
That is true.
That shit's sold out in San Francisco right now.
Right now. Cow Palace, right now.
I said,
All right.
with seeing Phoenix and Ray, I mean, we're going to get into that later another time, but the Phoenix and Ray itself is nuts. So I can only imagine what that match would look like.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, so for me, Wright stole the show with the very first match, but it's for the IC Undisputed title for Seth Rollins and Shawn Michaels. But it is not a Shawn Michaels main event match unless we have a ladder in it. So I put a ladder match for the IC title to unify, just like he did in WrestleMania 10 with Razor Ramon. But this time he's going against, to me, a split image. Like, they work the same, in my opinion. They have Seth Rollins. He's going to be going down as one of the greatest of all time also. Because, one, he's really good at changing characters. Two, he's really good at, like, he can work as a big, but he also works like a cruiserweight. So it's like it was the same thing with Prime Sean. So that's another, like I said, another technical match. And like I said, this is going to be my pattern going forward. So that's my mid-card. We're going to go to the next one. This is match number 3. Or actually, it's really match number 2 of the pay-per-view if we discount the kickoff. So where are we going with this, right? Is it another boring regular match?
No, it's not. It's a tables, ladders, and chairs match.
Man, we all have to have a TLC. I didn't have a TLC. I didn't have a TLC in this one. On my other one, I did.
But this is for I'm calling it the Ultimate Tag Title. Reason being is because I got one of my favorite tag teams, Beer Money.
Oh no! Oh man!
About your damn luck.
Oh, that man. I love that tag team. I'm glad you brought him up, bro. Beer Money was that team, and if you really need Bobby Roode to get the heck out of WWE so he can start being himself again, because that was prime.
That was
Roode
prime
right there, bro.
Bobby Roode right there. And then I got Beer Money going up against the Dudleys, the Hardys, and the New Day in the TLC match for the Ultimate Tag Title.
Well, which of the two?
Which two for the New Day?
Which two?
For the New Day?
It's gonna be Kofi and Xavier. Big E.
Yeah.
Big E wouldn't work well in this match. I like Big E wouldn't work well in this match.
I say the same.
Yeah, that's why I had to ask.
Big E, I don't think Big E would work. I mean, he probably would, but I don't think he's better than Kofi.
He'd be fine just because the Dudleys were there.
Yeah.
Just because the Dudleys were in, but
Xavier's
no.
a better fit for that scenario. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So who you got, Mario?
So I am a big fan of heels, and the one thing I was struggling with this was fitting as many people as I could into these cards.
Is this the one?
I put all. Yeah, this is probably one of my favorite matches of the night. I have an 8-man Royal Rumble. All right. I had to squeeze them all in. All right, and these are all these guys at their prime heel form. All right. We're gonna have Eddie Guerrero, Ric Flair, Razor Ramon, JBL, Chris Jericho, Shawn Michaels, Kurt Angle, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Look, JBL, his feud with Eddie Guerrero and his feud with John Cena was my childhood. That feud was my childhood. All right, I am a JBL fan. I wanted to put him at some point because I was also a big APA fan growing up. But I was like, I'll just take JBL I'll just take Bradshaw as JBL.
That was a good pick. I don't have him, but
Royal
see, I'm intrigued with that pay-per-view now. JBL, I like it too. Who you got, Timmy?
Yeah. So I went on a same thing with you. You'll see later in my card. I struggled like, hey, there's some people that should be on this card that aren't. So I said, you know what? Screw it. We're gonna go Fatal 4. We're gonna get AJ Styles versus Shawn Michaels versus Y2J.
Sheesh.
And I didn't throw any. I'm a terrible GM. I was like, bro, we got too much going on for titles. Screw them titles. I just want to see matches. And this is what I came up with.
Oh yeah.
So, hey man, this
It's a regular match.
It's a regular match.
Okay.
It's just a regular match. It's a Fatal 4. We got a lot of technical. We got a lot of brutal. We got a lot of everything in that match. A lot of great wrestling in that match.
Great wrestling for sure. This one is something that Vogt's not even going to care about. But I have a Survivor Series match, 4-on-4 Survivor Series style, and it's the New World Order versus the Bullet Club. That's where I'm going, and I don't care. So that's what I was gonna say. I didn't care about who, but because I know what the rest of my match is, so you're gonna get Hollywood, the Outsiders, and 6 on NWO. On the right side, we all agreed last time AJ Styles has to be in there, right, as the head leader. Then I was gonna get Machine Gun Anderson, Tama Tonga, and then we could go Bad Luck Fale just to keep it OG, right? But I didn't care about which one you picked because, let me see, I could have went AJ Styles, Kenny Omega, Prince Devitt, and freaking Adam Cole. Nah. Wait, do I have? No, I have the Young Bucks somewhere else. But I didn't want to pick. I just wanted it to be a mysterious Bullet Club versus NWO, and whoever came out, came out. So on Bullet Club, it was hard because we already know the 4 that are very important to the history of NWO. So we already know that. But Bullet Club, it was like, you already know I'm an OG with Prince Devitt. I could have kept it OGs. Prince Devitt, Machine Gun Anderson, Bad Luck Fale, and Tama Tonga. I could have kept it like that, but I didn't care. It's who wants to come out. It's just the battle of 2 of the big historic factions, even though we know NWO reigns supreme. But Bullet Club is what it is now. So that was my pick. So we're going into now 1, 2, 3, our 4th card match. I love this one. I love this.
Yeah, this might be my favorite match.
This is one of my favorites also. This is we're talking about the match before the main event. You know, those two are trying to steal the show.
This might steal the show. Yes.
This might steal the show. Oh, actually, they're not gonna steal my show, but they're gonna rival it right there. But Wright, go ahead. What is that? And it better have some kind of special stipulation.
So it is a hard. Listen, it is a hardcore match. Fatal 4-way. Cactus Jack.
Bang bang.
Versus New Jack. Rest in peace. Rest in peace to New Jack.
Oh, okay. You brought ECW in the building.
Yeah, real hardcore guy. Sabu.
Much real getting killed.
Oh,
no. See, he said New Jack, but the third one he just said that's
Sabu.
Real hardcore.
Yes, Sabu and Hardcore Holly to end it off.
Oh yeah.
Through the ambulance, you're gonna need a coroner.
Yeah, somebody
Yeah. It went all out for that hardcore match there.
That's a good one though. I like that. That's a good one. Mario.
So I decided to keep the theatrics up a little bit, and I'm bringing back the Buried Alive match.
Oh shit!
And I got the Undertaker, obviously, because it's not a Buried Alive match without the Undertaker, and Demon Finn Balor. Demon Prince Finn Balor in a Buried Alive match.
I would.
Nice.
2 of my favorites.
That's nice.
I keep the supernatural effect to it. You know what I mean?
I thought you was gonna go Bray Wyatt with that, but okay.
Nah.
Make it a triple threat. That would have been dope. Go ahead, Tim.
You know.
I'm really mad about it, but so this one it might steal the show just because my main event is one we talked about it earlier. It's one of those, hey, I got too many people left off this card. I'll be damned if I don't get these people on this card. But this match right here might steal the show, and we got the Shield with The Rock taking on Evolution with Rick. Rick is actually fighting, so it's a 4-on-4, and there's no disqualification. So we're gonna see whatever the hell we want to see.
The Usos come in. That's a good one. That's a good one. And then you would think, like, man, who would you think would win that match? Who would you book to win that match as a bookie?
It depends on timing, right? depends on timing and the situations on who you book to win. But I would probably book Evolution just because they are an actual stable, and The Rock is just making it, hey, I'm here to back up my cousin. But you still got Dean and you got Seth. You know, you're going to get a standing match. But just because Evolution is the actual full, complete stable, I'd probably book them to win.
That's a good one. So for me, I went technical again. I went to a submission match. And this one's going against the sharpshooter versus the ankle lock. I went Kurt Angle versus Bret Hart in a submission match. Again, I told you the pattern I went with is what I love to watch. Like, bro, I'm not real big on giants. Like Omos, I just can't get sold on him. Or like
He got no work.
the Great Khali.
Braun Strowman wasn't bad. I like Braun Strowman a little bit.
I'm not even big on Strowman. I like the characters they larger than life. That's why I never liked any of the 80s, like in 90s. It's like the only people in the 90s you would want for me was I would always watch Mr. Perfect or Bret Hart in WWF back then, right? Shawn Michaels. Those are the people I loved watching. So like I said, every single match, if you go back, I got Owen Hart, Chris Jericho, Shawn Michaels, Rollins, the NWO Bullet Club. That was just to sell tickets. But Bret Hart and Kurt Angle for a submission match is another great one. Like I could literally sit there and watch that all day. Now
They're gonna go too, yeah.
Now this is that could steal the show for me, but let's see why it did steal the show for some of y'all. What is your main
And
event?
now it is time for the main
Main
event.
event of the evening. Go ahead,
All right.
right? What is your main event?
My main event of the evening is the classic match that everyone wanted to see as a kid. We all talked about it on the schoolyard. It is going to be in a Hell in a Cell.
No.
The Undertaker versus Sting.
Ooh, you know what's funny is I didn't even. Man, I should slap myself for this. I'm not a big Sting fan too, but you are ultimately correct. So there's another one that I was like fighting against. So Sting and Undertaker, we always want to see that, but there was also the time where Ric Flair versus Hogan was a thing back then. You talking about the giants of both things coming together in '92, but forgot what happened where Hogan didn't do something. I think I don't know. I don't know. But
He did Hogan.
the what ifs, right? And that's a
Fucking
what,
jabroni.
and that's a what if itself. It's like explain to me, like, and I want y'all to talk about that.
Hogan in the ring with Rick.
But it back then, before they understood the studies of outside of kayfabe and all that, but like just to know the world champion of WCW versus the world heavyweight champion of WWF going against each other, that was money making. But yes, it would have been a boring match because I really am not I'm not a fan of both when it comes to in ring. Even though I like when Ric Flair does that little.
Rick in the ring?
No, I'm not.
I love Rick.
The only thing I like Ric Flair is like you get the chest chop, and then you get the one where you knock him, and then he does the delay and drops.
Dudes in their 20s, man.
Low blow, bro. Come on.
No, I'm not saying it's just like I said. He wasn't technical, so I didn't like how he worked. But explain to me, and if you guys want to like elaborate. The Sting versus Undertaker, that's a really good match. I didn't even think about that. Hell in a Cell. Now I can buy your. Actually, I'm not buying it still. I'm about to be on Google trying to find the free streams. But, right. Explain to me, and everyone else, I want you to talk about this. The Undertaker Sting thing that never happened. And as a fan, how heartbroken are you to know that since the Hall of Fame already got it, it's never. It's done. I thought it was going to happen when Sting came.
I thought it ended up being Sting and Triple H, and nobody wanted to see that.
No
one wanted. Triple H didn't even want to see it.
Nobody wanted to see that same match. Undertaker and Bray Wyatt. That was the same thing. I was like, no one wanted to see that either.
Yeah, it was Undertaker like that. And they were on the same card. That's what made if you do Bray Wyatt versus Triple H, then I'd watch that. Okay, cool. You should have did Sting versus Taker. That would, but.
Triple H was where he was. That match had to happen just because of the situation.
It didn't have to happen. That was an ego stroke of Triple H's.
He had a few of them.
Yeah, I mean that's a fact. I mean, but now it's to the point we will never see this match behind unless we do it on WWE 2K. Ooh.
I'm about to do it right now.
Gotta play.
Hey, what about you, Mario? Like, what
That
I
I'm
want to
looking in the
stick to.
future?
I want to stick to
Maybe.
this same subject. I want to talk like, how did you feel about? Because I'm heartbroken knowing that it'll never happen. Being a big fan, knowing that there's a lot of these rivalries, but that one specifically was since the eras, like since the Monday Night Wars. Like, talk to me about it.
Sorry, say that one more time. My bad, man. I cut out. You cut out a little bit.
Oh, here we go. He's gonna be the one,
No.
Tim. He's gonna be the one.
No. I'm not leaving. I'm not hanging up. I promise.
So I just want you to elaborate on being a fan, knowing that we wanted something and never having it, and in this incident we're talking about Undertaker versus Sting. It didn't even have to be in a fucking Hell in a Cell. That was just a great additive. Just having those two in the ring itself is something that we wanted.
Yeah, that was a story in itself. But like how many things have we wanted in our time of being WWE fans that WWE won't give us? You know what I mean?
Goldberg, freaking Austin.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
but this is the pinnacle right now. Austin versus Hogan instead of Hogan and Rock. There's a lot.
Yeah.
You know, like there I could think.
I know.
I'd have to think on a few, but like, how many times has WWE not given us what we wanted? You know what I mean? You
what
know,
about you, Tim?
they
How
took
you feel
like
about
they had like one of the things that they gave us that we didn't want. Remember fucking the streak getting lost for Undertaker? Nobody wanted that. Yeah, you know what I mean? Nobody wanted that.
Yeah,
that was like there's just numerous things that
There's so much conspiracy behind that too.
Them not giving us Roman versus The Rock when they were actually building the bloodline. That's when it should have happened.
Hey,
To be actual tribal
Roman
chief.
versus The Rock,
That is
yeah.
true.
To be the actual tribal
true.
chief, you should have fought him at WrestleMania right there.
Tim,
Beat him.
Tim.
Now I'm the tribal chief.
Tim,
Yes.
so let me change it up real
And
quick
it would've been great.
because you
They had
weren't
pizza
here for
there,
this. Mario, talk to us about the quote unquote rumors of what we're thinking because I talked to Tim and we also agreed this has to happen.
Hey, hold
It
on
has
one
to.
second. One second
It has
though.
to
One
happen.
second. Let's finish our main events and we'll caveat into this.
Yeah.
Let's
Okay.
get our main events out there.
Yeah,
and move
let's-
on.
All right, go ahead, Mario. What's your main event?
My main event. All right. So I got a tornado tag, no disqualification match.
That man said
I'm
tornado
trying to
tag.
put these deals in here.
It's not a
Like,
tag match if it's tornado. You ain't tagging nobody. Everyone's in the
Dude,
ring.
it's a tornado, whatever.
It's
Tornado
just
match.
whoop
whatever you
your
wanna call it.
ass.
Whoop that trick.
So I got the bloodline. I got the bloodline with The Rock,
Mhm.
and then I got Evolution, who was my favorite stable of all, like from my childhood. But seeing how Ric Flair's already competed prior to in that Royal Rumble match, I have them giving a call to a man up in Minnesota by the name of Brock Lesnar.
Boom, 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 boom. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
That's what I got.
I really wanted to have the bloodline go and get somebody too, but to be honest with you, you start getting those stable for stables. And this is no knock to the Usos. They weren't holding weight enough. I was like, they can't do it. They can't. And there's no knock to them because they're great in their own right. They're great in their own right. It's just one of those things where I'm like,
We
you
talked
got
about
guys
that
like
before.
Evolution. We got 4 bona fide Hall of Famers on their own. I was like, I don't know, man. That's
Well, the Usos are Hall of Fame. They'll be Hall of Famers just based on they're the longest reigning tag champs.
not on their own though.
I like that
sorry,
whole
SmackDown
family vibe thing that they got pulling out. You know what I mean? Because they got Rikishi that was in their family, Yokozuna, Umaga, all those guys. You know what I mean?
I need to back up a
the
little
bloodline.
bit.
I like the whole bloodline storyline.
Yeah. I ain't trying to shit on it. I need to back up a little bit. It's a great match. It's a great match.
Yeah.
I struggle personally to put bloodline in because I wanted to. But my main event, like I said, I had some guys that wasn't on the card that definitely should have been on the card. So what better way to fix that? We're going to a 7-man elimination chamber, starting a match off with a triple threat. And it don't matter who starts it. Don't matter.
Golly, sheesh.
We're coming out of there. We got the Dead Man,
That's pure
Undertaker.
chaos.
We got Stone Cold Steve Austin. We got CM Punk. We got the crazy, out of this world Mankind. We got
Have a
Bret
nice
Hart,
day.
Sting, and Kurt Angle. There's so many different matchups and so much you're going to see in this match.
It's everything. It's everything. You get your
It's
big
everything.
people. You got your technical. You got your hardcore. That's a good match. That's a great match,
That's
actually.
fire.
Man, that's a lot of money into your pay-per-view. All the stuff you've been doing.
Hey, I'm bankrupt, dog. Fuck it.
So look, all right, for mine, again, if I go back, my submission match, Bret Hart versus Kurt Angle, I was going with this saying that he's going to steal the show, but it's very hard to steal the show when you have an Iron Man match as your main event for an hour, and I have two of my all-time favorites going against each other. Two friends, rest in peace to both. Chris Benoit versus Eddie Guerrero in an Iron Man match. You cannot.
Oh man.
I knew it, Tim. I knew it,
I'd
Tim.
probably cry. I'd probably
Listen.
cry.
The crippler crossface versus the frog
I love
splash.
his work. You know
So-
I love his. I can't believe I forgot about that, man.
So I went with my two
Oh,
all-time
man.
favorites. Those are my. If we want to talk, because we have time now, but I want to talk about this after. But that's my main event. It's an Iron Man match to finish up my show with technical wrestling, like I said. It's
Man.
Eddie Guerrero, Latino Heat versus the Rabid Wolverine, Chris Benoit in a Iron Man match for an hour. I can watch
Fuck
that
my
for
main
days.
event. I want to see that.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
Screw
so-
my main event. That's what I want to see.
That hurts
So-
me that I forgot about Chris.
It really hurts me to know that you did forget about Chris, especially
You know
being,
how I feel about that,
especially
man.
being a Canadian yourself, bro.
Oh, chill out.
Listen, bro. Hey, as GMs, I'm gonna tell you like this: I'm not watching Wright's pay-per-view for sure. Legally gonna watch it. All right. The other two I like too, but like I said, I went with what I love to watch in wrestling. I'm not, like I said, I'm not big on like Hogan type shit, Ultimate Warrior type shit, like where you do a leg drop and you think it's over.
Hey, can we make a deal that we don't even mention that man no more? That dude's irrelevant as hell. Can't-
Fast.
So-
let's just stop that.
No, we're gonna talk about him before we shut him down. I'm gonna tell you like this: I am not a big fan of his work, but you gotta
It's
understand.
trash.
So,
You gotta
I'll
understand.
say
He
this.
saved
Yes.
wrestling.
He
He's like
saved wrestling.
he's like
It's-
Magic Johnson. Hey, let me explain. So it's like Magic Johnson, and Larry Bird saving NBA during that time. Hogan was needed at that time. Like, what do you look?
Bro, I know damn well you didn't just compare Larry and Magic to fucking.
No,
Hogan.
I'm not
Stop
comparing. What I'm saying is the
Stop it,
impact they had to save these franchises. Like, you got to understand.
I
Larry
think
Bird,
so.
like the 70s was trash, bro. The 70s
But it's rightfully so. Like they saved it being that guy. Hogan
Bro.
wasn't that guy. Motherfuckers loved him for no
They,
reason.
but Hulkamaniacs, listen, Hulkamania from the 80s, in like all the 80s. Because can you name? Well, sit there real quick. Sit there and name me someone in the 70s that was great.
Look. Say what you want about Hulk Hogan.
Superstar Buddy Rogers.
Exactly.
Say what you want about Hulk Hogan. His in-ring work being subpar, him being an awful.
It's
human
just his
being as well,
character.
another
That's
one.
all it is.
But like that man could get the crowd hype in seconds.
So
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Just-
and
So-
you can't mention wrestling. And I'm not a Hulk Hogan
Yeah,
fan at all.
me
The guy's a
neither.
piece of
But
shit.
I know where you're going with this, and it's exactly
And-
correct.
but you can't mention wrestling without mentioning Hogan. That's like that's like trying to mention basketball without Jordan. You can't do it. And a lot of people hate Michael Jordan, but
Thing-
you just
thing
can't do
about
it.
Hogan being as what he was, I honestly believe if Hogan wasn't there, somebody else could have took that persona and went. I think Macho Man could have carried it just fine.
He was my favorite. He was my
Hogan
favorite
got
in
that
that
persona
era.
from.
Jimmy Fly could carry very well. Like,
But
there's
Hogan-
other guys.
I don't know about him.
Could've got that.
So I can somewhat agree with that, but if you recall, Hogan got that persona from superstar Billy Graham. Okay, so Billy Graham wasn't taking off with it. If you go back and you watch, he actually he said, "I got this persona from superstar Billy Graham."
Yeah, he did say that. But what I'm saying is, like, you already hit it. Like, we don't have to discuss no more. It's like you cannot tell the story of wrestling without him. And
Without
as
him.
much as we don't like him,
because of how it
We-
played out.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
I think alter history and it'll be fine. Is what I mean.
Macho Man
Like,
for
you
sure. Yes,
can't- you can't
I'm a
alter
big
the
fan of
Celtics
his.
history. Bro, you can't alter the Celtics history without Larry Bird. You can't alter the Lakers history without Magic Johnson. You can alter WWE without Hogan.
I disagree.
Yes, you can. Bro.
I
Stop it.
disagree. I disagree, bro. In the
You had
'80s,
other guys. You had other
There
guys
was-
who was in the league with way better.
After
Well,
the fact.
but
You
I'm
can't
talking
tell
about.
the story
I'm
that
talking
Hogan.
about.
You can't rewind back to the 70s
I'm talking
and 80s
about-
and swap
Bro, the
people out, you know what I
'70s
mean?
was the '70s was lost, right? The Hulkamania persona. That's the only reason why wrestling moved up and it became a rock and roll type of character, atmosphere. To me, I get it. Like, we don't like him, but we can't tell the story without Hulkamania, bro. There's so many WrestleManias that we'll be losing if we
going
talk
to,
about
'cause I'm
stories.
tired of talking about that bum. We going
But
to.
but
Okay.
but what you said, how you got kind of mad about Chris Benoit not being on. I'm mad now that you mentioned Macho Man. I cannot believe Macho Man is not on my card now, and it's like,
Not on
man,
anyone's card. That is.
No one's card, and it's about matchups, right? You got to think about the type of matches we have. And
I would have put him. It would have triple threat match: Shawn Michaels, Seth Rollins, Macho Man, ladder match. Fuck it. Fuck it.
He was good with the one-on-one.
Yeah, but it's
Macho
just.
Man, it just seems like it doesn't fit. Not like once again, it's not a knock to Macho. It's just our cards didn't really play into his favor at all. That's all. That's
They didn't.
you'd have to go out. You have to find a match and make it work. Which there's matches you could put him against Stone Cold, and that'd have been a classic.
Macho Man was literally the type of. That's the reason why I got into technical wrestling besides Bret Hart and Mr. Perfect. It was Macho Man because he could high fly, he could be technical, and he could play big. It was like he could do all three phases, and that's why I'm like, man, I'm kind of like disappointed in myself as a bookie to know that I didn't put Macho Man on there. How many of y'all have like who did y'all leave off that you were like, fuck, I have to leave him off?
Chris.
That's good. That's one.
With that live.
It was Eddie for me, but I left Eddie off.
You of all people.
Yes, me of all
You.
people, I left Eddie.
You
Me.
are an Eddie Guerrero fanatic.
Oh,
As much
you know
as
I
I've
am.
known you, and you know that's my all-time favorite. So for you to do that was blasphemous. Bro.
Hold on, wait. And guess who else I left off?
Who?
Jericho. But there's
you
another
said
reason why I left off Jericho. Nope, Jericho was not in. Nope, Jericho was not in any of these.
So you're gonna go in our next episode. You're gonna give us freaking the Jericho now instead of the prime Y2J.
There's a reason for that, and then you'll see it on next episode, guys.
Nah, man. I want to talk about this again. We were since we're done, Tim. I want to rewind it. I want to talk about that, like the Undertaker's thing. Like you didn't talk about it. And then tell me about other ones that we can discuss right now. Like how many of these what we wanted never happened type deals that we wanted.
So many.
So while we on
that's-
this conversation with what we wanted and didn't get, we can go back to the conversation we were having before I suggested finish our main events. We can go back to Mario with it, with the rumors that's going on with Roman's storyline right now. We can go back to that, finish that up, then we can go from there. But I know I talked to you a couple months ago about what I think the future holds for Roman and another superstar in the roster. I'll let Mario talk about the rumors that he has floating around, then I'll transition from there.
And it's funny though, because yours momentum is happening right now as we speak, Tim. As we speak, that momentum is moving. But go ahead, Mario.
To go back to one person I wish I would have put on there that I didn't was the Ultimate Warrior, and I didn't have him on there, and I wish I would have had him on there.
Rest in peace.
I enjoyed the Ultimate Warrior. I enjoyed how hype he was. That's somebody that I wish that was on there. And Jake the Snake Roberts, I wish I would have had in there somewhere as well. I enjoyed him as well. I liked him. I liked his work.
That's
I wish I would have had him. I wish I would have did a 4-man bird alive and had him somewhere in there because I like that supernatural shit that they have in there. I think it's cool. Some people find it corny. I get it. But yeah, the rumor is that The Rock is clearing out his WrestleMania schedule or his schedule around the WrestleMania time to be there for maybe that possible Roman Reigns bloodline storyline that we should have got last WrestleMania.
Two WrestleManias ago.
Yeah, 2 WrestleManias ago. You know what I mean? But I love Roman Reigns, but I wish that they would have who are you gonna have him compete against for the next 7-8 months? You know?
There's quite a few people. There's two guys that actually come to mind.
Who you got?
Yeah, go ahead.
So right now, I like what they're doing with this this Drew McIntyre thing. I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. I don't mind
But
it.
he's
Don't mind it. I like Drew.
faced.
I like Drew.
Like, who is he gonna face that he hasn't already faced? That he hasn't already beat?
Austin Theory.
What the?
Vince McMahon's protege.
Vince cut this man a check.
Vince McMahon's protege.
So last episode he wants to talk about freaking Tozawa. Now he wants to bring Austin Theory in this.
Dude, man.
Tozawa all the way. Hey, Akira Tozawa, the next undisputed champion. You heard it here first, folks.
On 2K maybe.
Nah.
So the route that I think that Roman could take, because inevitably he's gonna have to drop this strap at some time, right? I don't think it's anytime soon before the next WrestleMania. I think it'll be after WrestleMania, which is crazy.
Yeah.
That's a year away. But I really think, and Uso can vouch for me. I've been talking about this for months. I really think the move is, and they're starting to. It seems like they're starting to move into that direction. You break up RK Bro.
Yep.
You let Randy miss some time because he done got his ass whooped. He comes back with a different persona we've seen before.
The
Legend killer.
Already, a legend killer.
Legend killer.
They're already hinting at it, talking about all the records that Roman's beating, blah, blah, blah. And Randy said it. I've been beating records for 20 years. And now he's going to come back. And
He
while
threw
we're at it,
shade.
you think you're a legend now, huh? You think you're God? You know what I do to legends? I kill them.
Killed him.
He goes on a
Legend
tear,
killer.
takes out the Usos one by one. They drop the straps because they have to. Because there's gonna be a time where the bloodline loses and then bounces back. We're going to see it. So I think Randy causes that. He causes them to lose the straps, and then he gets his match with Roman. Ultimately, he loses. It's fine. We're okay with that. I mean, it is what it is. And then I think just because of the situation, the one guy we're going to see, and I think they're actually going to let him take the strap just to let him have that moment, is Cody Rhodes. They're going to let him have it. They're going to let him have it, and then they'll transition back into Roman getting it back again and going on a little bit of tear before ultimately breaking up the bloodline. That's how it always happens. But I do believe those are his two next big opponents outside of The Rock and WrestleMania, which I love it, but I don't because it's too late. They missed the ball on that one. It's 2 years ago. Perfect timing. Now it's kind of, we're forcing it because the fans have been bitching about it. You know, it is what it is. But I think those are the two guys that he gets his real runs at. Drew, I like Drew. The problem with it, he's already had his match. He's already beat him. The only other person you could say, I've had and I beat, but I can still have a match with you, and it makes sense, is Seth, because it ended on disqualification.
We're missing one guy.
Ooh,
Yeah.
You said Austin Theory, bro. I don't want to hear
No,
that.
I was talking shit about Austin Theory. Bobby
If you say Tozawa, I'm about to hang you
Bobby
up.
Lashley. Bobby Lashley.
The match is too stiff. The match is too
Yeah.
stiff.
No one's gonna be hyped about Bobby Lashley.
I
would.
love Bobby.
I would.
love
And
Bobby.
I really wanted to see it against Brock, but
Yeah, that would be better.
yeah.
That'd be better. I just think the way that Bobby has to fight, him manhandling Roman isn't gonna go over well. It just wouldn't.
Yeah, I'm not into that one.
Brock
I'm not
and
sold.
Bobby can go back and forth, manhandling each other, and it's perfectly fine. But when you do it to Roman, who's supposed to be on this pedestal right now, it doesn't sell very well.
No.
All right, so
He's beating everybody. Everybody came his way.
Yeah.
so
So
we have our pay-per-views, right? And then I'm throwing a curveball because I didn't give you these notes before, okay? And now I'm about to get these wheels turning, okay? You need a commentary team.
No contest. You already know who it is.
I
JR
want
and
I want three, and the reason why one of them is going to be on there is because I didn't put him on the match, and I want to stop myself right now because he's one of my favorites, and I mentioned him already. Who is your three commentary team? Like who is it? Right? Go ahead.
So
All time.
for my Undertaker match, JR has to be in it. It's a given. You have to have. My God, he killed him.
This is a good old slobber knocker.
Yep. So JR has to be that for me. Then if I have JR, actually I'm gonna just go with my favorite classic.
You gotta go with
JR, Cole, and King.
you have to.
JR, Michael Cole, and King.
You got JR, you gotta have the King. It has to.
I went throwback. So go ahead, Mario.
I I like picking people from different teams and putting them together.
That's what I did.
I love Pat McAfee right now. First of all, I think he's dope.
yes.
I love
I like
Pat
Pat.
McAfee.
I like Pat.
Pat McAfee.
Oh.
I'd have Pat McAfee. I'd have Jr. obviously, and then somebody that was my favorite growing up that I always watched with his outrageous takes that he would take. I'd have Taz in there.
Oh, I was about to
Okay.
clap, but
I love
Taz.
Taz.
Not that bad.
I love
It's-
Taz.
Yeah, pretty similar. I'd have JR, and like I already said, you can't have the King without JR. And then I'm really high on Pat right now. He is the commentator that all of us fans would be. He's the fan doing the commentation, and it's perfect, right? It just meshes so well. And I also wanted to go back because everybody else said theirs, but I didn't say mine. Outside of Chris, obviously, the one guy, maybe two guys that I wish I could have fit in there was, like Mario said earlier, with JBA and APA. JBL or APA, either one of those guys, either version of him I really like, and then also Booker T. Those two guys right there are great. Like to leave those off, and then now that I'm thinking about it, Rob Van Dam as well. That's another one who is hard to leave off, but at the card that I had to be. But I just want to touch on that. I said those are the three that I'm really like. Oh man, I can't believe I forgot those guys and couldn't fit them in.
We got those.
Man, I know like I'm probably older than y'all by like 10 years at least, because you guys are all Attitude Era-ish to my commentary team.
So you come with Monsoon or Gorilla Monsoon?
No. So who? Bobby the Brain Heenan.
The Brain. Okay, yeah.
What they call the Squirrel? I forgot. That's what his name was. Then I went with Rowdy Piper. He was also a commentary. So you got these two that are like, I went straight heels on all three. And then because I knew you guys were like, because you guys are young bulls when it comes to us talking wrestling, y'all went up with the Attitude Era. I went with another person that should have been on my card, and I'm mad that he's not. I went with Kurt Hennig. I went with Mr. Perfect because he also during his injury was a great voice on commentary back then. So that was my three. I mean, you can't go wrong. I really like if I had to like look at y'all threes. I like the ones with Pat McAfee in it. That's pretty good. Then you have like Tim literally just said it. You have the could we all agree? JR and King are the goats at commentary.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're adding Pat McAfee where Shinsuke's freaking song comes on. He's on top of the table dancing, bro.
So you get those two together, and it's more than just the match too. They're gonna sell it for like the wrestlers are selling themselves, right. And then that commentary team sells it even more.
Well, that commentary team needs to go to Wright's pay-per-view so they can sell a lot of.
Like you said, you get the by God statements and the stop it. Somebody please stop this match. He's gonna kill him.
He's dead. He's gotta be dead.
Makes you buy in. You actually feel the atmosphere at home, sitting on your couch, millions of miles away from the actual thing. It's crazy.
All right, before I go with this, right, I want to go around the horn again. Talking to like everyone else's matches that you've seen, which one did you like from one of them match cards, or which one is like questionable? Like, why did you pick that?
So the one that I liked your card, the Eddie Guerrero Chris Benoit. Oh my goodness, dude! I would probably watch that match on repeat at least 3 times back to back to back. That's a hell of a card. I mean, that's a hell of a match. Even if we go back to when they fought when Chris Benoit, I forgot what his persona was with his mask. If we go back to that WCW days.
The hell.
I forgot about that too.
They had off.
Yeah, they had a match. I think it was about a 15-20 minute match. It was Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero. They both were still young. Oh my goodness! It was something kid. It was something kid, and Chris Benoit had a luchador mask persona. Mm-hmm. Chris Benoit did.
I remember seeing that.
So,
what's a disappointing match out of ours?
A disappointing match that I heard. They all were actually good. Like all I can't think of any. Like, I think Maybe. No, because I like that one too. Yeah, I didn't have any.
Mario?
I don't know. I feel like we might be unanimous. The Chris Benoit Eddie Guerrero match, like the 30-year-old me has his inner 10-year-old would be crying at that match. You know what I mean? Like that's probably the match for me now. I would love to watch that. I'd watch that on repeat. I don't know. Like I personally didn't hate any of the matches. The one match that if I were to go like the one match I would least want to see, no offense, would probably be that Jacqueline tag team match that you had. Like, but like it's hard. But like it's also at the same time it's hard. Like to do an all-time match for the females, like when you had people like Tori and Trish Stratus who were like, no offense, these dainty females doing bra and panty matches, trying to go against like a Rhea Ripley or a Ronda Rousey or these people who are like now these women who are now brawling, you know what I mean, throwing hands on the stage and like
I knew it.
It's hard.
I knew it. Don't
It's hard.
don't get him started on Ronda Rousey, bro.
It's hard. Look, I think Ronda Rousey's trash, first of all, but like in comparison, like when you look at it, like who are they gonna who back then that was a female wrestler would beat Ronda Rousey match?
And that's why my Fatal Four was 3 current, and then I threw Trish in there just because out of the Hall of Fame females outside of Lita, which Lita just didn't fit in that match. That's the only reason I didn't put her in. But Trish is the only one that had enough work to get by in this era. And that's why I went that way with that Fatal Four.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Vogt. Talk to me, Tim.
What's that?
Talk to me.
Oh yeah. So my favorite match, like you said, anonymous. You know that Eddie and Chris Benoit.
Hey,
unanimous. Especially out of us four, like that's our era. Like let's be honest about it. That's what we grew up watching. That's what we want to see. It's great. Like I told you when I heard the name, you can go back and watch my jaw drop because I'm like I can't believe I forgot Chris.
You went
like that's like it's crazy. And, you know, I don't want to knock on the women's match that he had on there because to be fair, Ooze gave us a stipulation of having to have a women's match, which. Sorry to all the female fans. It ain't nothing against them. It's just when we talk about all-time wrestling, I want to see all-time wrestling. And currently, until for the moment, women's just hasn't reached that. It's about there. I love watching Bianca work in the ring. She's phenomenal. So I think at some point we will get to where, hey, you can't have an all-times list without this woman on this match, you know. So I think that's. But if I had to pick my least favorite, is probably the women's match, and that's pretty much any card really. It's just the one with Jacqueline is specifically just because of the time. They weren't really wrestling. You know, it's different.
It was more
different
gimmick-ish.
It's different in era. It's no fault to her own. I always said that about China. If China was in today's era, she'd be an animal. She'd be absolutely upset. I mean, she was crazy for her time. If she was in today's wrestling, she'd be damn near
wrestling dudes.
She would be Charlotte Flair before Charlotte Flair. You know, like she was Charlotte Flair before Charlotte Flair. She was the GOAT of women's wrestling. You know, she was in today's era. She would be even better. You know, so.
Look at Mario. See, Vogt. Every time you talk, someone hangs up, bro. Look at Mario.
I don't know, man. I just got these takes, bro. They can't handle it.
You like Medusa.
No,
Every time you look at them, they freaking turn into stone.
I'll be on the left side of that formation. You know, somebody ain't gonna make it. You know.
Again.
I don't even know what my computer just did. That was new. Yo,
hey,
my bad.
It matters. You ain't pulling right on us. Right?
No. Whoa.
Bison.
It turned off, and I was like, "What just happened?"
As soon as I said MJF is not like that in the ring, he was gone.
He was gone. He was out of there.
No.
So for me, I mean, I'd be biased if I took mine, but I really was like thinking about it. It's like wow, like I didn't even put the one that I wanted, Undertaker and Sting in a Hell in a Cell. I think that was a perfect matchup. I think that was the one. Disappointing. It's the same one. I'm sorry, right? But I'm not gonna. That's when I get up and go take a piss and grab some food. Once I hear Jacqueline's music, like who's that? Jacqueline? Oh yeah, I'm out. I'm about to go, do some Pilates or hit some push-ups. You know what I'm saying? Like while is that match over yet? Then I'll come in. But the least amount, yes. But if I had to take away from the main event that I put on, it would be the Sting versus Undertaker. That's something I would pay just to watch by itself. Because we all wanted that match for sure.
I say that one, or I really loved the one. No, not the two Longhorn, but I really loved the Evolution with the Shield going at it with the Rock on the side. That'd be probably my second. Those two matches right there. Once again, childhood, and then you got three workhorses with the Rock, who once again is childhood. Like, it's just that match to me. Like, I really debated putting that as my main event, but I was like, I can't, because a main event, you're normally a one winner type of guy, not a tag team type main event. So that's the only reason I didn't.
Two of the greatest factions of all time. We've discussed that, right? Shield and Evolution, and then now you put in the greatest, like the great one with them. Like, you can't go wrong with that. Like, you really can't. Even if you like left off Ric Flair and just had those three versus the Shield, that's still a money maker.
Yeah, absolutely. But I was like, I want the whole faction, baby. I want everybody getting at it.
The whole kit
and like I told y'all, too many people to leave off the card. I was like, where am I going to fit the Rock in? We'll put him with his cousin and let him battle out with Evolution. Because he had some fights. He had some fights with Triple H back in the day that was great.
They had really nice.
I'd love to see him get actual work with Randy and Batista both.
Yeah.
Well, you know, anybody who works with Rick is going to be just fine. Rick is a hell of a professional.
He's a good worker. Great worker.
Oh, okay. So we all have 2K, right? So I'm going to tell you like this. Out of all the venues, which one would be your pay-per-view venue for this one?
Madison Square Garden, baby.
But what stage?
Oh, it's got to be WrestleMania.
I'm not going WrestleMania. I'm going with the biggest. I'm going with the biggest party of the summer, baby.
SummerSlam.
It's all time. This is all time pay-per-view.
Don't matter. Listen, I think
where you grow up dreaming of fighting in, man. No one said, I want to fight at SummerSlam. Come on, bro. Everybody wants to fight at WrestleMania.
But which WrestleMania stage would you take?
I wouldn't even pick WrestleMania for myself.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Because it's too much behind WrestleMania right now. That's why I said I would probably have to go SummerSlam, or even I might go out the company. I might go WCW, and I might go. Come on now.
Go where? What? Bash at the Beach?
No, not
Company
Bash.
dies for a reason.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to WCW. You know what? I'm gonna give TNA some views. I'm going
Slammiversary. I'm definitely not buying this freaking pay-per-view, bro. That's definitely free stream, bro. I'm about to watch that on a jailbroken fucking what's it called? Fire stick, bro. I'm not paying for that pay-per-view. Slammiversary.
Hey, it's NWA's one last night.
What about you, Mark?
I'm torn between three. So one of them's not really very view. I was always a fan of the old ECW arena.
Okay.
Like the old amphitheater ECW. That 2004 No Way Out was another one of my favorites.
Speaking of Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah, I'm a huge Eddie Guerrero fan. 2004 No Way Out or WCW Halloween Havoc.
The pumpkin.
You got a lot of hardcore stuff, so
I need something that fits
that
bill. I'm all about the blood, the graphics, the people, the wrestlers almost borderline dying. I'm all about that.
Logical.
All about it.
Yeah.
Where are you going, Tim?
Yeah, I would go WrestleMania. Nothing within the last 5 years, just because of what it's transformed into, the 2-night event. Not a big fan.
Me neither.
I love the whole get all the action you can in one night and not have a bunch of mid cards. You got mid carders, but then you got mid cards on WrestleMania, and it doesn't make sense, right? So, which another one just popped in my head talking about mid carders. I can't believe no one talked about the Miz. That's
Why would we? Why would we? Why would we? I'm sorry. Listen. If we're going mid card, it's like a whole lot of people I put before the Miz. And when I say there's a list, there's quite a few people I will put before the Miz.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I got you.
All time. No, current day maybe might be foreshadowing to something I got for that.
Yeah, I mean current day. I will bring the Miz.
I'm telling you right now, before we close this episode, on current day, MJF versus Miz. If that's where you're going with, then I already know where you're going with this.
I got
Shout out CM Punk. You're just a less famous Miz.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, so, listen. This was a great episode. Talked about this. Like I said, I'm not buying Aaron's freaking pay-per-view.
Yes, you would. You would buy it.
Why you
Maybe-
trashing that man so bad?
Listen.
Bro,
you wanna know why
this man said Jacqueline, bro.
Listen. Do you want to know why you buy? And that's why I put that match there, because I always need a piss match. That's my piss match. It's still going to be a good match, but that is my.
He did say that last time we talked. He said there's
Yeah,
always got to be that one match you piss
You
off.
always have to have a piss, because I'm sorry, I don't want to watch a completely stacked pay per view where I have to see this is must see. You have to have a piss match.
Listen.
That's my piss match.
Hey, must see what?
You paid for it.
What?
Why wouldn't you want to be able to see everything?
Because I want to go take a piss. I want to
Hey,
go
Tim.
maybe play the food.
His
I
whole
wanna-
pay-per-view is a piss pay-per-view.
Oh no, it's not. No, it's not.
I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I'm just
Okay,
playing.
so
I'm
you're
just
not
playing.
rounding-
I'm just playing.
That's the Undertaker match. Yeah, that's the Undertaker match. Let's relax
Yeah,
now.
I was just playing. Listen, I love y'all. I love y'all, man. This was a great episode. I can't wait to talk to y'all about the next episode where we get into, if y'all want to know, it's similar to this, but it's current. And when I say current, Tim, I'm talking about their current stature, not their primes, because like I said, Sting is still current. Sting, 57,000-year-old Sting is not going to be his prime on these rosters. You got to go with.
That's cool.
The only difference is everyone's healthy. That's all I care about. Because Kenny Omega will be a part of that. Okay. So, thank you guys for subscribing. Like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you go in the comments, either on Facebook or YouTube, and let me know, how bad Wright's pay-per-view was. Just fill it up. You know what I'm saying?
You left it. Listen, if you left it, it's fine. We know you have to have a piss match. That's why every pay-per-view Vince McMahon throws in just say, hey, you
that was I gotta take a shit match.
You need a piss match, and that was my piss match.
And
I'm
that's
glad
our
you
show,
just said
man.
everyone's healthy.
When everyone's healthy, like that's.
I'm glad
key.
you just said everyone's
We'll
healthy.
talk.
'cause now
We'll
I'm
talk
making
again,
changes.
man. I look forward to our next one. But everyone else, like I said, thank you for watching. Thank you, you three, for entertaining this whole thing, because we're all nerds with it wrestling. So talk to y'all boys later.